Can you provide us with injury updates, please?
I'd love to. I would love to for myself also. It's really day to day for a lot of guys. So we had some boo-boos before the game. Now we got some guys that we have to monitor now. We'll have to see it. So Anderson's in nets tomorrow, I can tell you that. Besides that, it can be a drastically different lineup tomorrow. So have to wait. You saw that we sent Kleisen down. The idea is not because we didn't like what he was doing, because we want him back. He's done great, but 23-man roster that we need to have, and we'll for sure need forwards for tomorrow. So I can't tell you who we're bringing up because Pierre's going to see them play tonight, and he'll see who deserves it, and we'll see where we're at after. I can't tell you. I'm not the one that's going to make that call. I'm not the one going to see the game.
Is anybody out for sure? Like Ryan, Hoffman?
Well, I'm going to church, so hopefully that makes a difference in who's going to be able to play or not. He's right now, I don't know, I'd love to say yes, but we got some guys that are banged up, and we're going to have to be smart. So I don't know, to be honest with you.
So your roster tomorrow will be 12 and 6?
Not necessarily.
Are you at the point like position, or is it whatever?
No, right now it's emergency. Put a team on the ice and try to manage as best as we can. That's what it's at right now.
How I'm not sure if this is the right word, but how humbling can a performance like last night be, and can it come at a good time?
Well, you never want to have those. You're always disappointed, but if you think you're not going to have those all year, well, then you don't know what the NHL is, and you don't know what sports are. I mean, you look at the other teams in the league yesterday. Some terrific teams got shellacked, and just like us. So I mean, just before our game, Nashville had lost 6-2. So you saw some scores yesterday. It's going to happen. The important thing is how you rebound from it and how you assess your weaknesses so that you don't see them the next day. I think for me, we had no legs yesterday. That's going to happen. And I think the message is, what do we do when we've got no legs? You're not going to get them back. I mean, sometimes you see it, you're a little slow start and you pick it up later, but I knew right away. After 5-10 minutes, our guys had no juice yesterday, and that's going to happen. So the thing you have to rely on is your structure and your discipline. And it just straight away, and it was the same for power play. Started great, first 2 power plays, loved them, perfect, and then all of a sudden start to do whatever on the breakout and whatever inside the zone, and then so you want to do more because you're not at your best, but that's the mistake. You got to do less to do more, and that's hard. So that's where we have to be smarter. I say, we got no legs today, but we got 5 guys on the ice that can be hard to beat if we're playing 5 guys, if we have a pack mentality, if we're supporting when we've got the puck, and that's not what we did. So it looked as pretty as the game in Nashville, if not worse. But I mean, in Nashville we did have Hoff in the lineup, and we did have Ryan for the whole game, and so on. So I mean, it makes it tougher when you're missing your top 6 guys, obviously. Without MacArthur, Ryan, and Hoffman, you're missing 3 of your top 6 guys. So it's you got to be realistic. You got to win the game in a different way, and that's where we were not smart.
You're using Chris Weidman on the power play. I mean, part of a necessity or whatever. But
yeah,
do you figure he gives you a different look on the power play?
Well, he's a power play guy. I mean, he dominated the American League as a power play guy and as an offensive defenseman. That's the main reason why we have him here. So we want to develop him. He's done very well with the other power play. And what I needed yesterday is whether it's Eric, you'll see Eric in there, but you'll see Eric up top too. You'll see Eric everywhere. I've done this many times. Subban, I did it with, and many other defensemen. It's just a 4th man in kind of mentality. So wides was up, but you'll see him low, and like we practiced today, you'll see a mix between Dion and Cease, and Dion and Carlson, and so on. So I think right now it's not about changing what we're doing now. Now we know what we want to do. I'm at the second step now, is we got to execute, and guys got to have poise doing it. But mostly is stick to what works. Yesterday we did a great job in the first one, and then instead of reproducing that, they're looking for something else. And so we want to make sure that we reproduce the things that work.
Will your first stop tomorrow be your office or the training room?
It'll be the training room. It'll be the training room now when I go down. It'll be the training room tomorrow. Yes, you're right. You're right. No, it's right. It's tough. It is. I'll be honest with you. It's tough. You look at your lineup, and it's, you plug some holes, but in reality, I mean, you can't ask some guys to be a top 6-4 when you're a fourth liner. You can spot there. You can, do, but. So we got to figure out a way to use the players in the roster so that we put guys at least in the chairs that they can manage, so that we have the best look possible for tomorrow's game.
Just when you're in that situation and you're asking guys to maybe play roles they aren't, adversity can also bring out.
It does. But here, I know. I think I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is adversity is good, and you'll see guys thrive on it, and you'll see guys come up big. The thing is it's not that sporadic moment where you need somebody to spot. That usually the adrenaline takes care of it, and it's over time. When you're not in your chair, you wear yourself out because it's not your chair. It's just too much to handle for you. And then it's not just physically, it's mentally. After a while, you don't have the same output as the guy that's doing that job on a daily basis. And so that's where it becomes tough for somebody. Like a kid like McCormick comes in yesterday. He's on adrenaline. He's doing great. But, the thing is what's hard is in 5, 6, 7, 8 games and 9 games to continue having that drive and that's what it is. That's what's hard for a player to make the NHL and stay in the NHL. I mean, I've lived in the American League. You had guys like destroying the American League, doing great. They come up in the NHL, and after the first three games, hey, we got a player. But 5, 6, 7, 10 games down the road, then the players can't do it. And that's why this NHL players are so special. They're able to maintain a certain pace for a long period of time. And that's what makes them an NHL player. That's why you get top scores in the American League. And you go, how come they're never able to get up here? Well, it's because they're able for a few games, but they can't sustain that, either physically, emotionally, mentally, size-wise, or their skating's not adequate. And it's okay in the American League where the skating is different. When you got to go against Stamkoses and guys that are jets on the ice, you'll do it out of adrenaline for a shift or two over a period. But when you got to do it game in, game out, that's where it becomes overwhelming for some guys. And that's why you got the guy who can't make it, and the other guy who does, and that's who sticks and who doesn't. So I think right now, a guy like Zingle for us, it's good to see that he's able to continue, putting a good game on the ice. Now, is it too much to ask him to be in a power play and penalty kill in the top 2 lines? Right now, probably, but we have to. That's where we're at, and he's done a really good job. But eventually, you want to put him in a spot that he can manage and breathe a little bit and get where he's at in his process and development.
I guess just on the injured guys, just so I can understand the numbers a little bit here.
Yeah, I have to count myself here.
But you don't want to put them on IR because that would be 1 week, right? And
That's exactly what it is.
That maybe tomorrow or
Tuesday.
Or Tuesday,
okay. Yeah, that's the problem we have right now.
Okay.
There's some news in Craig Anderson front is his wife today.
Yes,
just how he's handling things and he's focused with this and the ice.
Yeah, I didn't read it, but the organizations made me aware of what was said, and I mean it's out there, so I don't want to get into their personal life and the specifics of it. But if you're asking me how Andy's been dealing with it amongst us and amongst the group, I mean, I can't even imagine somebody dealing with it better than that. I mean, that's just the ultimate professional and mental strength that that rarely is displayed by anybody. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-boggling how consistent and how good he's been.